We are live and direct here today on WYEP with the Beths, all the way from New Zealand. They're playing at Spirit tomorrow night, but in town early, and decided to come by and hang and play some music. So, the Beths, welcome. Would you please start us off with a song?
Sure. Can we erase our history? Is it as easy as this? Plausible deniability. I swear I've never heard of it. And I can close the door on us, but the room still exists. And I know you're in it. Hours of phrases I've memorized, thousands of lines on the page, all of my notes in a desolate pile I haven't touched in an age. And I can bend the evidence, but I can't bend the pain, and I can't forget it. How does it feel to be an expert in a dying field? And how do you know it's over when you can't let go? You can't let go, you can't stop, you can't rewind. Love is learned over time till you're an expert in a dying field. Does it feel? The city is painted with memory. The water will never run clear. The birds and the bees and the flowers and trees, they know that we've both been here. And I can flee the country for the worst of the year, but I'll come back to it. How does it feel to be an expert in a dying field? How do you know it's over when you can't let go? You can't let go, you can't stop, you can't rewind. Love is learned over time till you're an expert in a dying field. Can we erase our history? Is it as easy as this? Maybe in other realities, the road never took this twist. And I can close the door on us, but the room still exists. How does it feel? How do you know? Can't stop, can't rewind. Love is learned over time till you're an expert in a dying field.
It's the Beths, live and direct here at WYEP. They've got a show coming up tomorrow in Spirit and a new record coming out in a couple of weeks. We just heard the title track, Expert in a Dying Field, a song that I've listened to on repeat the last couple of weeks. It's so good. And You guys, last time you put out an album, the world kind of changed. So how are we feeling about this new release?
Feeling pretty good so far. Although, I mean, I think it's coming out in about 2 weeks. So, I mean, anything could happen.
That's right. Anything could happen again. Well,
Yeah.
anything different in the band since the last album?
We grown a bit older and wiser, and maybe like accessed some more areas of our fretboards, and wrote a different set of songs.
Yeah.
And
It's nice. It's nice releasing an album when you're actually on tour. It's like a bit less sitting at home and like watching the computer and being like, I wonder if people like it. It's like you play a show and people know the words to the new song and you're like, oh, cool. I think they like it.
I'm sure. Yeah, it's got to be a cool experience to see that from the stage. Can you talk about because you've been here in the States for a couple of weeks or months or whatever now. Is there a big difference between playing a show here versus playing at home, where I presume anyway that everybody already knows you?
Is there a big difference? Yeah, there's like we're not like super famous in New Zealand or anything though.
Okay.
We're still a indie guitar band there. New Zealand really loves like chill music for barbecues and stuff. But we do love it there, and we do have a dedicated fan base there. But yeah, it's fun playing in the States. It's like there's a real, I feel like, enthusiasm for music that's like very outward, and like it's very open, and like people really want to I don't know, share it with each other and share it. It's in like a very outward way, which is, it's really nice to experience when you come here.
Yeah, welcome to America. You're gonna know what's on our minds.
Yeah,
That's for sure. One thing about your music that I love so much is, of course, those pretty melodies and harmonies that kind of hold it all together, because it can get a little chaotic at some times. So, and that's not something that I think everybody can pull off successfully. So can you talk about just the general process of how a Beths song comes to life?
well, I guess it starts with like some kind of emotion, some kind of emotional outpouring, and then I'll usually write a demo kind of on my own, and it will often have like a little, like my guitar part or like a little riff or something, and then like some of the BV parts. It usually won't have like a middle eight or like a bridge, because and then I think so when it's got like a couple of verses and choruses, I'll usually bring it in and we flesh it out and we arrange it. What happened? I don't know. What's that part of the process like?
Ben writes the bass lines,
It's true.
Tristan writes the drum hits.
Yeah, I think it's also finding out what the best songs are at that point. This is which ones stick out, and then we start with those and go from there.
Yeah, they're not all winners.
Nothing wrong with that either. So the Beths are here live and direct today. They've got a show tomorrow at Spirit and a new album coming out on the 16th. And we're going to talk a bit more about making that record and lots of other stuff. But I would love to hear some more music if you would.
Sure. I wish that I could freeze time, go to the wilds, look at the quiet till I'm dripping wet with it. Then I would drive home, go to my room, ring myself out, that would be the end of it. Instead it's white noise, sufferingly loud, it's wearing me down, I'm up to my ears in it. is golden, is golden. Silence is golden, is golden, is golden. Someone told me I'm a water sign. As I move among greater minds, suspends between them drain dry up like the weather. It's wrong and forgotten, but it feels so right. I just love the way the fabric lies in line, reflects the thread you might want to sever. Hope not forever. I see you sick, I see you fine. And you don't mean to be unkind. Though I know way down that I'm out of heart, when out of sight. I keep a flame burning inside. If you need to bomb away. Body working, my brain is short. All good tidings are the first forgot, but you hold a lot, and I know I'm kind of a bummer. Watching closely for some kind of clue that I mean anything at all to you. If your world collapses, I'll be down in the rubble. I build you another, or wait out the summer. Wait out the summer. I see you sick, I see you fine. You didn't mean to be unkind. Though I know way down that I am out of heart, when out of sight. I keep a flame burning inside. If you need to burn away, I love you sick, I love you fine. You don't mean to be unkind. Though I know way down that I am out of heart, when out of sight. I keep a flame burning inside. If you need to burn away.
It's the Beths live and direct here on WYEP. Just heard a song called Out of Sight. They're going to be playing at Spirit tomorrow, but spending the day in Pittsburgh and hanging out here playing some new songs for us. They have a new record coming out on the 16th of next month called Expert in a Dying Field. One of the other songs we just heard, Silence is Golden, which is just full of stress and anxiety. It sounds so good. And I'm thinking in particular, the part of that song where you're singing about the sound, and that like off-kilter harmony. It just makes you feel like you're in it, like we are in it with you. So can you talk about what you were feeling when you wrote that, and like, is music therapy for you?
Weirdly, I think maybe even where the song kind of, part of where the song comes from is that like when I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed and stressed and exhausted or something,
sometimes I kind of can't listen to music, like, and it's I find it just kind of, I just need quiet, or like I don't know, I'll listen to like a podcast or something to go for a walk or something when I feel like my brain is really full. And it's like just sometimes as a musician that, it's a combination of like writing that during the kind of absolute quiet of the last couple of years, but then where it's still kind of somehow applied, but also like it sometimes applies when we've been on tour at times and just been like absolutely rinsed, and and I just feel like sometimes I just need quiet.
Something else I found really interesting while watching a video for a new song called Knee Deep. You guys did some bungee jumping. Can you talk about that experience? It looked, I don't know, that I don't want to say it looked fun to me because it looked extremely nerve-wracking to me.
So it's a song called Knees Deep, which is about kind of which we'll play next. It's about how I kind of feel like a chicken a lot of the time. Like I get really close to doing something, and I want to do it. Like, I want to go swimming. I want to dive into the pool, but just it takes me a long time to get in, and I feel embarrassed by that and ashamed of my own, ashamed of that. And I guess the song's kind of about that. And so it felt right to do kind of something that was kind of scary. And I'm grateful that everybody did it because I was like, what if we all went bungee jumping? And I feel like there's not many bands maybe where everyone would just be like, okay.
Was it terrifying?
Was it scary?
In the moment?
It was awful.
Awful.
Yeah, I was very scared.
I think if Liz calls that though, arguably you might have been the most. I mean, apart from Tristan, you might have been the most scared.
Well, only at the end. Like, when it's a hypothetical idea, you're like, okay, it's not real until you're actually standing over the edge and looking down, and you're like, oh no, but if I do it, I'll die.
Right. Whew, man. Tough stuff. Now, I guess let's move on to like soothing the pain. I saw that you guys have a beer which happened to be made here in Pittsburgh. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, we're aware of this.
How did all that come about?
Yeah, it's a local brewery, and they, I think they do a few little artist kind of collaborations and things like that, and maybe they've done some stuff with our record label, Car Park Records, based in DC before, and the opportunity came up. We talked about the beer, and I think they've got some New Zealand hops that they've made a beer from, so yeah.
New Zealand's got famously good hops.
We grow good hops in the middle of the country, down in Nelson, at the top of the South Island. There's good hops there, and lots of different varieties. I can't remember exactly which one they've got there, but Nelson Sauvin's like a classic one. They've probably got some of that.
Classic hops. Well, I guess something else I'm curious about, speaking of things that grow in New Zealand, any other New Zealand bands that you guys are super into right now that you think we should take note of?
Yeah, we've got this band called Hans Puckett that we always love. They're putting out a record in October, I think, on Car Park as well. And this band called Phoebe Rings that we love. If you like Stereolab
and dreamy pop stuff.
If you like post punk, you should check out a band called Wax Chattels. Something a bit heavier. They're really good.
If you like your punk just straight up capital P punk, you could check out Dick Move.
Lots of good stuff happening.
Sounds like it. So I was introduced to your band a couple of years ago with the album Future Me Hates Me, and it makes me wonder how, well, I guess future you then would be current you now. How are you feeling about everything? Is there hate or no?
I feel like the disdain I have for myself stretches through all time and space, but it doesn't feel too bad at the moment.
Good.
I don't know. It's hard because you're like, in 2018, looking ahead, you're like, will things be good? Maybe, and then they kind of. In some ways, they've been very good, and in some ways, they've been very bad in ways that we could not predict.
For sure.
But I think it would be hard for me to blame what happened on myself. So.
Yeah, this is not your responsibility, Liz, I promise. This wasn't you.
Thank you.
Well, the Beths are here live and direct today. They're doing a show tomorrow at Spirit. You can find details at WYEP.org. And their new album, Expert in a Dying Field, comes out on the 16th of next month. Love it if you'd send us off with one more song.
For sure.
The shame, I wish that I was brave enough to dive in, but I never have been and never will be. I'm coming in hot and freezing completely. The shame, I wish that I could say what I've been thinking, but I never have done and never will do so. Only knees deep, will never be brave like you.
It's the Beths live and direct here on WYEP. Show tomorrow at Spirit, a new album out on the 16th, and a cool video for that song, Knees Deep. Check it out when you get a chance. So you guys are here in Pittsburgh for the rest of the day and tomorrow. Do you have any major Pittsburgh plans? You know we have a lot of mountains that you could jump off of.
I mean, you tell me. What do you do when you have a morning off in Pittsburgh?
I've never had a morning off in Pittsburgh, but I know people like to check out the Warhol Museum. You could go spend time by the river.
Randy's? Is that
Randyland.
Randyland? Yeah,
Randyland.
that's the one.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we'll talk more after this, but the Beths, thank you so much for coming in. As a pleasure to see you live, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much.